Happy to be joined by Diana Belbita, who's taking on Carolina Kovalkiewicz this Saturday. And Carolina had mentioned you as an opponent that she wanted to face when she did some interviews earlier this year. Is this a fight that's been a long time in the making?
Hi, this is a fight that I was thinking about for a while, but I was not sure. I'm still thinking I'm at the beginning. I always kind of overlook myself. So I always think like I'm at the beginning. I was not sure if I deserve such a matchup because it's a great matchup. And I was super happy to hear her saying my name because that means she thinks I deserve it. So that means I deserve it. And I'm more than happy to fight her. So let's see what's going to happen.
And the two of you have a lot in common. You have the same record, 15-7. You both fought in KSW. She has moved from Poland to America, where she's made her home. You moved from Romania to Canada. So, what's it like facing somebody that has so many similarities to you?
I always admired Carolina since I was a kid. And now I'm happy that I can face her. And that's true. We have kind of the same experience now because you just mentioned that. I thought I'm in the beginning, but actually we have the same record. So we kind of have the same experience. I don't know about her kickboxing or Muay Thai experience. I have some experience there too. I know I'm the young one, so probably that's why I thought maybe I'm not at her level. But how we can see now, the numbers are pretty similar. So and our background experience is pretty similar too, like moving from a country to another country just to get better. So that means that she's willing to make all the sacrifices like us, I am too.
Yeah, you don't do a whole lot outside of train when you're in Canada. What do you do in your day-to-day life outside of the gym?
What day-to-day life? What outside of the gym? I'm in the gym all the time.
So what's
I
what's
don't
a day
have a
like
life.
for you then? So give me an average day for you in terms of when you wake up to when you go to sleep.
So I wake up usually around 7:30, make my breakfast, eat a little bit, video call my mom. My mom. If I don't call my mom, I'm in danger, so I better call her. And then I go for a run or training or something for 1 2 hours, and then come back home, eat my lunch, have a nap, and then wake up and go back to the gym for a few more hours. So that's a day of my life, and I think that's how every day of my life looks, including Saturdays.
And what do you enjoy the most about living in Canada? What has been something that you like about the country in comparison to Romania?
To be honest, what I care the most it's training, and I have the right team here and the right team. I have great teammates, great coaches, and this is what I needed. This is what I enjoy. More than that, what can I say? I enjoy the food. Not during my training camps, but I really like the food.
Well, do you like food in general, or is it like Canadian food isn't really something that people talk much about? We have poutine and things like that. We don't really have a signature food, so to speak.
But you know what we have in Canada? We have all the food. We don't have much signature food, but we have all the food. We have Mexican food, we have Asian food, we have any other food we want. And I think that's the best. Like in Romania, yeah, you can eat Romanian food and you can eat some different food, but it's not, authentic. But in Canada, because there are so many people from all the countries, you actually can eat some like specific food.
What food is popular in Romania? Is there anything from home that you miss that you can't get in Canada?
I don't really miss much because if I want something to eat, I just eat in Canada. Like Canada has everything. And Romanian food is not good for diet. So I'm happy that I don't have that food right now here. So I don't really miss much from Romania. The only thing that I miss from Romania is my mom. That's all, and my cats.
So you met. How did you meet Crualin and end up in Canada? Like, what was the journey like to get to, I guess, Stony Creek and training at his gym?
Few years ago, I was fighting in Eric Sef. It's a Romanian league, the best the best MMA league in Romania. And Crualin, he was bringing there a few fighters, and they were fighting there. I think one of them was Kyle Nelson, that also fights in UFC, and another fighter. And he helped me with the weight cut. I didn't know how to cut weight at that time, and I had, I don't know, 1 2 kilos 2 kilograms to lose, and I didn't know how. So he helped me, and he saw I'm a soldier. I'm a fighter that's willing to make sacrifices for what he wants, she wants. And that's how we start. That's how I met him. And then for the second time when I met him, that's pretty funny because I was fighting another Polish girl. I think her name is Paulina Borkowska, and he was the cutman of that girl, and I knocked her out with a head kick, probably broke her nose or something. So he had a lot to work that night because of her.
And then, how did you end up coming to Canada? How did that whole situation come about?
So in my past, I was in two TV shows, and when I was in the second one, I had the opportunity to sign with UFC, and I didn't say no at that time. I knew I was not ready. I was in TV shows for months, and I knew I'm not ready. But I had to take that decision. And I had to take that decision quick, and I signed the contract, and I got out of the TV show at some point. And I knew if I'm going to stay in Romania, I will not be that at the level that I have to be for for fighting in UFC and for winning fights in UFC. I knew if I'm just gonna train in Romania, I will come to UFC, lose two fights, and that's it. My contract will be done. And I wanted to change something, so I was talking with Kualin, and he told me the only option that I had, and was the greatest option, to come to Canada and train here. So in a few days, I pack everything, like I made my bag and come in Canada, and I changed my life. Actually, I just announced my mom at that point, like a few days before I left. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna move," and my mom was like, "Oh, what are you gonna move now? What city?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna move to Canada," and I moved.
And she was okay with it.
Yeah, I left my parents' house when I was 14, so my mom was always used to me being gone. But I used to visit her at least a few times a year. Unfortunately, I don't really have this time lately. I didn't visit my mom for like 3 years almost. So I don't know, maybe next year I'll go and see her.
What were these TV shows that you were on in Romania? What sort of shows were they?
So the first one, I was 20, 21 years old. I think 20 years old. It's Exathlon. It's almost like Survivor. If I'm pretty sure you heard about it first because the Jorge Masvidal was in Exathlon America. It's exactly the same thing. It's just the Romanian version. So I was there for 4 months in a TV show. And then the second one, it's called The Farm. It looks more like Big Brother, but in the middle of a mountain, in a farm, in the middle of the winter. So I was frozen.
Did you enjoy those experiences of being on these shows?
Yes, I really feel like after those experience, I got more mature. Before that, I was just a kid and I didn't know how to treat people, how to act around people. But actually, there I learned a lot. Like after the first TV show, when I was because of course I finished the TV show and I wanted to watch it, so I watched it, and I saw the real face of people, and I start be a little bit more careful and be aware of what people can be.
So those were good learning experiences as part of just life lessons.
100%. And I learn a lot about myself too. I learn because in those shows you have to play games every single day. And if before I was nervous every time I had a fight, in those TV shows I was nervous every single day. So my heartbeat was huge, was so high every single day. So I learned how to control it. And I really think that helps me because now I'm going to fight on the biggest stage in the world. And I will be fine. I know I'll be fine. I know how to control it.
You've also got a very, you're very skilled with social media. You're on it quite a bit in terms of your Instagram and on Twitter. I guess it's called X now. But why do you make that such a priority in terms of what you do outside of training and building your, I guess, your profile on social media?
To be honest, building my social media is never my priority. I just post stuff when I feel to post it. And I don't know, I never have a certain time, oh, I'm going to post at this time or I'm going to post this or no, I just do what I feel. And I think that's the best. If somebody else will manage my social media accounts, I think people will notice that and they will not like it. But I'm actually there. I read all those comments. I love to fight with those people when they hate on me, like, oh, I'm always saying like, oh, I don't really care about the haters, but actually deep down I enjoy it. So I'm there all the time. I read all the comments. I know what people are talking about me, and I sometimes I fire back. Why not? Actually, my mom enjoys that, so she likes to fire back to them too.
So you think that's a trait you got from your mom is firing back at people?
I think so. Why not? Probably. She always asks me. She doesn't speak English, so she always asks me, "What this guy said here?" And I'm like, "You better not know." No, no, no. I want to know. And then she's like, "Oh, I need a TikTok account." She didn't have a TikTok account, but now she has because she wants to fight with those people on TikTok. So be careful. My mom is gonna be on X or Twitter or whatever it's called soon.
Is she learning English just so that she can like fire back at these people?
I really see her doing that, learning English just to fight with people, because she always learn a lot of social media, and then she knows how to use the translation. If there is not the translation button under the comment, she just copy and paste it on the Google Translator, and then she goes back to them.
Why do you enjoy getting into it with people on social media? Why is that something that you enjoy spending your time on?
I definitely like when people like me and they say nice things about me. Of course, that makes me feel good, and I'm always thankful for that. And I try to get back to them as much as I can. Unfortunately, on training camp and right after my fight, I cannot do it to like get back to all of them. But most of the time, I try my best. But I love the haters too, and especially I love when they are saying that I cannot do some stuff, and then like I can't win the fights, because at first they said, "Oh, you are not gonna make it to the UFC." Surprise! I made it to the UFC. Then, "Oh, you are never gonna have a win," and I won the fight, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is the first and last win," and then I won the second time, and now I'm gonna win the third time. And you know what I love? I love to save those comments, like the bad comments, and then get back to them after I win the fight and say, "Hey, are you still alive? Do you remember you said this?"
Well, the thing about social media is they're never going to be happy. You could win the championship and defend it for 8 years; they'll still find something. But I'm glad that you're finding ways to get back at the people that are running their mouth a little bit. I think that they probably deserve it. Now, you were on the card back in June in Vancouver, and the Canadians did such a great job of representing, and everybody won their fights. Now, there's a rumor that come January, the UFC might be coming back to Toronto. Is that a card that you're looking to get on after this weekend's card?
100% I want to fight back in Canada, especially if they will be in Toronto or somewhere close. Of course, I'm going to do it. There is no doubt about that. That's why I'm fighting right now. If you do a little bit of math, you will realize that I fight in June. Now I'm fighting 4 months later. 3 months later, the card will be in Canada. So that's why I'm fighting right now, because I want to be on that card then. And I already have an opponent in my mind, but I'm not going to say nothing right now. I'm going to talk about that after Saturday.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that call out and looking forward to seeing you do your thing on Saturday. Deanna, thank you for your time.
Thank you.